Vanity Fair, the story of Echo and Narcissus. Much to his wife Hera's chagrin, Zeus, the king of the gods, was well known for being a wayward husband. In this story, Zeus, disguised as a peasant, is passing time in a forest in the company of three lovely nymphs, Daphne, Danae, and Echo. Daphne and Danae are teasing Echo for her love of the hunter Narcissus, a conceited young man who's not interested in Echo. As the four are talking and laughing, Zeus senses that his wife Hera is close by and she is not very happy. It is decided that while Zeus, Daphne, and Danae run and hide, Echo, who is known for the gift of gab, will distract Hera. The ruse works for a bit, but Hera soon sees through it, and in her anger, curses Echo. Now Echo, once so gifted with words, will only be able to repeat the last words spoken to her. Later, Narcissus is in the forest and comes upon Echo. How will she be able to declare her love for him? What will be the fate of the conceited Narcissus? Let's watch and see what happens.
On Mount Olympus, over the gods, Zeus and Hera were having a very heated conversation about one of their forest sprites, or fairies.
Those are beings that aren't nearly as powerful as gods, but have more powers than an average human.
I just can't stand it anymore. Something's got to be done.
Well, have you tried talking to her about it?
Talk to her? That's the whole problem. I can't even get a word in edgewise when she's around. She doesn't even give me a chance to speak to myself.
Would you like me to have to work
It
with?
won't work. I've tried everything. I'm afraid I'm going to lose my temper, and you know what that means.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Don't even think about using online thunderbolt. We have to settle this peacefully. You're going to have to negotiate with us.
They were talking about Echo, one of Zeus's sprites that was supposed to serve Hera. Indeed, Echo was a good servant, but she had one problem. She couldn't stop talking.
Oh my God. Listen, did you hear who was turned into a tree? Well, the water spirit told me all about it. Do you know the Babbling Brook? She knows everything. Almost as much as Zeus himself. I hope Zeus isn't mind me saying that. I mean, he does know everything. Where was I? Oh yes, being turned into a tree. And not just an ordinary tree.
He talked to Hera about everything, the gods, the silly things that mortals did or didn't do.
Hera tried to be polite at first. Then her neck started to get tired from nodding so much. She found herself wasting valuable time. Time when she could have been doing godlike things, just listening to Echo.
Hera tried talking to Echo.
Excuse me. Echo, try to interrupt. Excuse me!
My queen, did you want to say something?
Well, it's about your talking. You know, I hate to say this, but you do go on sometimes.
Do I? I guess I do. You know, my mother always said the same thing to me. Echo, my daughter, you do go on, she said. But she can talk herself, let me tell you. Once when I was just a tiny sprite.
This is hopeless.
Hera put up with the long-winded chatter for a long time, but one day her patience ran out.
Where's my husband? Where's Zeus? There's an emergency about to happen and I can't find him. You better not be lazing around. Has anyone seen him?
I've seen him.
I was afraid of that.
Echo had seen her boss, in fact, flirting with some of her fellow sprites. She knew she couldn't let it far with that, but she kept chatting away with Hera to give time for Zeus to break away.
He was just here a minute ago. Everybody has to take a break and relax now and again. Even if Zeus is supposed to be on duty all the time. Why?
Just tell me where.
I had a cousin who was so serious he made himself sick. Let me tell you.
Enough! Silence! I can't take it anymore.
My queen, I didn't know.
Something's got to be done about your babbling.
Hera raised her hand and made this decree.
From now on, your tireless tongue will rest. For all of us, even you, this will be the best. For words, you have never had a laugh. But now, you only have the power to speak back.
Speak back.
This is my royal decree. Do you understand?
Understand.
For the rest of the time, Echo only had the power to repeat the last words that others said, and that she bound to do.
As you can imagine, Echo felt terrible. All of her feelings were bottled up inside her.
Now, isn't it so wonderful? So peaceful and quiet.
Quiet.
When she wasn't serving Hera, Echo began to wander alone in the woods.
One day, she saw a handsome young man taking a hike. Echo's mood lifted immediately.
This young man happened to be Narcissus. He was out looking for someone who was good enough for his love.
When he was a child, his mother asked a fortune teller if her boy would have a long life. Perhaps, the prophet said, if he never knows himself.
It's a shame that the world is so full of, how can I put it kindly, average. No one comes near my exacting standards.
Narcissus had been told by so many people that he was good looking, that he was interested mainly in one person, himself.
But when Echo saw him, she fell hopelessly in love. She followed closely behind him as he wandered in the woods, but she was careful not to reveal herself.
And of course she wanted to say something to this young man, but she had to wait for him to speak first. When Narcissus thought he saw something in a tree's shadow, he called out and Echo got her chance.
Is someone here?
Here,
Well, show yourself.
show yourself.
Please come out of hiding. I want to meet you.
Meet you.
I'm going to leave unless you come out right now.
Right now.
As she said those words, she got up her courage and came out from behind the tree where she was hiding. She ran up to Narcissus and tried to hug him.
No, stop. I'm not interested in dating a forest friend. I'd rather die than be in love with you.
In love with you.
Oh, please, leave me alone.
Alone.
With that, Narcissus ran away, leaving Echo all alone. She was so upset that she went into a cave to collect her thoughts and have a good cry. That's why they say you can hear Echo's voice even to this day in caves all around the world.
Although Echo had a broken heart, she never lost her love for the handsome Narcissus.
But a goddess observing the scene didn't feel so kindly towards Narcissus. This was Nemesis, the goddess of payback, forms of justice.
She's the one who's famous for settling scores.
It's about time that Narcissus had a taste of his own medicine. I'll see to that he falls in love with someone who will always be outside his reach.
So it happened that Narcissus continued his search for someone worthy to be his mate, but he found it to be a very hard search.
It's tiring being perfect. Looking for the perfect companion? I've got to take a rest and drink water.
The young man sat down by a beautiful pool and leaned over to take a drink from the clear, blue water.
Now this fellow will get what he deserves.
As Narcissus bent over, he saw his reflection in the pool.
Hello, who are you?
The image just looked back at him without replying.
Why, of all the people I've come across in my wanderings, you seem to be the most special. Why won't you tell me your name?
The reflection just looked back in water in silence.
Something's come over me that I've never known before. I feel rejected.
With that, Narcissus started to feel very, very sorry for himself. A few tears rolled down his cheeks, dropped into the pond, and landed in his reflection. The ripples caused the image to break up and vanish.
No, please don't go. Stay, I beg you.
In a moment, the image returned.
Oh, thank you. I knew you cared about me. You don't know how many horrible people I've met before I met you.
Some of the sprites felt badly for Echo. They went to her cave to cheer her up. They told Echo about the odd young man who had fallen in love with his own reflection. She went out to laugh at this pitiful creature. Then she realized it was Narcissus.
She felt pity for Narcissus and decided to watch over him. Her voice repeated his words.
I promise I'll never leave you.
Never leave you.
Narcissus was so absorbed in his own conversation that he didn't hear Echo at all.
I'll never move from this spot.
From this spot.
And that's how Narcissus spent the rest of his short life, sitting by a pond in love with his own reflection.
In the spot where the young man spent his last days, there grew a beautiful flower in the springtime. It was the flower that now bears his name, the narcissus. And Echo, listen hard, and you may be able to hear her talking if someone speaks loudly enough.
Enough.